Hello and welcome. I'm Jim with Working with Miniatures, and today we're going to be unboxing and assembling the Proxxon hot wire cutter. We'll be using it for the very first time, and at the end of this video we'll give an honest review of how we feel about it. Let's get to it. Right after I pick some mulberries. After removing the contents of the box, the instructions for assembly and operation are on top. The replacement parts list is at the end of the manual, including a size for the cutting filament at 8 thousandths of an inch or 0.2 millimeters. After removing the contents from the plastic bag, the only assembly required is attaching the arm for the wire guide, affixing the wire, and attaching the red wire to the bottom of the arm, as shown in an accompanying photo insert here. After removing all of the items, the red wire is readily visible. For me, the wire guide came on the wrong end. This was likely done so the guide head does not come off in transport and assures you must remove the screw for the red wire in the hopes that you do not forget to attach it and complain that it does not work. Once done, insert the arm into the body, aligning the screw holes, and seat the large hand screw. Then seat the small screw with the wire and tighten with the Phillips head screwdriver. Once complete, slide the wire guide onto the other end of the arm, ensuring that the wire slit is facing you. This slit is to hold the wire in place, ensuring it does not slide when pressure is applied from pushing foam against it. Seat the washers onto the hand nut and place them aside. Loosen the wire lock on the left face by turning it counterclockwise and pull about 6 to 8 inches of wire free, but don't cut it from the spool. Insert this wire into the hole in the table center. Then tighten the wire lock on the left face. Seat the spool onto the hand nut with the washers, assuring that the wire is feeding to the same side as the slit on the guide head. Adjust the guide until the wire is 90 degrees from the table face. Finally, you'll adjust the tension on the string and then mount the fence. This is the temperature dial. And this is the on and off switch for the power. As an additional note, be aware that the aluminum arm on the fence moves. We will discuss this momentarily. Using scraps of 1/2 inch XPS insulation foam, I make the first test cut with the temperature set to 2. It cut, but it cut slowly. The next test was done with the temperature at 4, and this worked well for this thickness of foam. As a note, once you start cutting, try not to pause at any point. The heat of the wire will melt the foam and leave a small cylindrical indentation. To avoid this, keep the foam moving at all times. Having drawn a line to square this piece of foam from the jagged edge, I try freehanding the foam through the wire just to see how hard it would be to maintain a reasonably straight line. Note this is based strictly on the steadiness of my own hands as opposed to any shortcomings of the Thermocut itself. Previously, I mentioned the fence design being both a good and a bad thing. If you notice, when I'm cutting a long length of foam, I'm holding the aluminum guide rail for the fence in place with my left hand. If I don't do this, the rail will begin to slide with the foam until it eventually comes off. However, because the aluminum rail slides, you can use the fence as a push block as seen here. Using it in this manner makes for easy squaring of edges and for making multiple small cuts. The Proxxon Thermocut 115E is a great tool for cutting foam. I wouldn't say it's inexpensive, but it's also not bank-breaking, and it also doesn't take up a lot of room. If you had to break it down for storing after each use, say if you live in a small apartment or flat and have limited room, it wouldn't be that time-consuming to do so. If you do use this indoors or in a small enclosure, be sure to have adequate ventilation and avoid breathing in the fumes from burned foam. The cutter is easy to set up and use and comes with a mind-boggling length of cutting filament to boot. However, out of the box there are limitations. The cutting max length between the fence and wire is roughly 8 inches at best. This can become problematic when cutting very large pieces while trying to minimize waste. You can cut larger than 8 inches if you remove the fence, but if precision is required, then this wouldn't be optimal. If easily and precisely cutting greater lengths is a necessity for you, then consider another product other than Proxxon Thermocut 115E. However, there's still hope for this tool when it comes to cutting greater lengths, if you're willing to put a little time and effort into it, which is precisely what I'll be doing in the near future. That's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you learned something, or maybe you were influenced to purchase or not purchase the Proxxon hot wire cutter. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and if you like the content of this video and would like to see more, please like, share, and subscribe. Until the next time, this is Jim with Working with Miniatures. I'm truly grateful for your time, and I bid you a fond farewell. Until the next video.